Hi, Martin Warwick here. We're at the Small Cells World Summit 2014 at Excel in London's Docklands, and I'm talking with Kelly Davis-Fellner of the Wi-Fi Alliance. What's the business case for carrier Wi-Fi? Lots of people say there isn't one.
I think there is. I actually think there's a business case, a number of business cases for carrier Wi-Fi, and I think, if you ask 10 carriers, you might get 10 different business cases described. But at its most simple, there is simply not enough connectivity capacity to meet demand. And particularly when you're thinking about licensed spectrum versus unlicensed spectrum, the need for mobile offload is very, very, very compelling. And so purely from a cost basis and managing that scarce resource, Wi-Fi is really, in my view, a no-brainer for a mobile carrier. But that's really only the beginning. There's a number of other business cases, and I think Wi-Fi's cost picture, as well as the user experience that it's coming to deliver, make it a very, very solid contender over the visible horizon in the carrier space.
So how is Wi-Fi being used by telcos, especially alongside small cells?
Well, we think of Wi-Fi as kind of as a small cell itself, and I think particularly when you think about very, very dense environments, so city centers, convention centers, any place where you have quite a bit of footfall, Wi-Fi handles density very well. We commissioned a report last year that kind of took a look at total cost of ownership, and Wi-Fi makes a very, very compelling complement to sort of the traditional small cell deployments. And it has the added advantages of, unlicensed spectrum, lots and lots of devices can connect, including devices that can't connect to the cellular network. And it has a lower per bit total cost of ownership by quite a bit, in most cases about 50% of the per bit total cost of ownership of traditional small cells. So that doesn't mean that Wi-Fi will replace small cells, but it does mean that it is very much in that mix.
How can Wi-Fi be used, do you think, to drive new revenue channels?
That's one of my favorite questions to answer.
Well, I asked it.
I think that there are a number of things that you can do. So one thing that's really interesting to me is everything you can do over the top, right? So, Wi-Fi at the end of the day is just a connectivity medium, right? And once you make it very easy to connect and make sure you've got a really, really nice, robust connection, then suddenly it opens the door for things like video and for other over-the-top services and messaging and sort of the visual web. And, one example might be extending a home broadband and cable subscription and being able to access all of that premium content when you're on the go, as an example. There are also, models around mobile marketing and location-based services that are as yet untapped. And then we also are seeing that it's opening new opportunities for fixed providers that were not previously open to them. So you're starting to see fixed providers investing very heavily in Wi-Fi because it gives them a mobility component that can be extended even into things like voice services as well, leveraging really Wi-Fi as the predominant connectivity mechanism.
And how can carrier Wi-Fi be used to leverage the mobile roaming experience?
Yeah, so Wi-Fi is sort of modeling what we know of as mobile roaming today, and Wi-Fi roaming is really starting to kind of step into the spotlight. And over the next 5 years, I think you'll see a real sea change around Wi-Fi roaming, and not only will you be able to sort of take your mobile subscription with you wherever you go and be able to connect anywhere, which you can do today on cellular networks, you'll be able to do that over Wi-Fi as well. There are about 35 operators trialing Wi-Fi roaming right now that's kind of based on our Passpoint technology, and I think that's a strong testament to the interest in Wi-Fi roaming, and Wi-Fi roaming is good for everybody. It's good for service providers, and of course it's very, very good for subscribers at the end of the day as well.
And finally, how's the technology for carrier Wi-Fi being developed and improved?
Yeah, there is a very, very ambitious and kind of robust Wi-Fi roadmap ahead of us. I think the near-term stuff is that the Passpoint roadmap includes extensions to support online sign-up and policy provisioning and things like that. 11AC, which is 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, has recently kind of emerged as a very, very compelling technology from a performance standpoint and a capacity standpoint. But the industry's really not done. We're looking at other frequency bands, so there's WiGig and 60 gigahertz. There is a couple of other technologies operating in other frequency bands that we'll also look at kind of complementing the Wi-Fi portfolio. And then the last thing is there is something that's kind of been termed high efficiency Wi-Fi, and that's a few years out, but it essentially looks at a way to get even more performance and be able to support a greater density of users in the Wi-Fi channels that we have today.
Kelly Davis Fellner, thank you.
Thank you very much.